everyone, happy Sunday. How are you guys doing today? I hope you are all relaxed and have enjoyed a lovely weekend. It's time to do a little bit of crafting time and take a little time for yourself. So I hope you're excited to follow along with me. Right, if it's your first time here, a very warm welcome. I'm Angela. And yeah, we're going to make a little project and put it into our journal. So I've gathered some goodies here to show you what you need to go and grab. So I'm getting better at this now. Took long enough, eh? Right, so I've got some little ephemera pieces. This is just a piece of card I've stamped on, stuck a butterfly on, so I'll talk you through that later. Just some bits that I'm going to put into my little project. So these are from my baking, listen to me, Book Lovers Bliss ephemera and sentiments pack. So that's that, and a large tag. So these are just the bits and pieces. You're going to want a piece of paper. This is also from my Book Lovers Bliss journal pages. So we want a piece of paper like this. I'll explain the size in a bit. You want the background page that looks like this. And of course, you don't have to be using these exact pages. If you've got a different kit that you want to use, go ahead and do that. The principles will be the same. As far as little extras are concerned, I've taken a bit of my fabric. So it's this fabric here from my complete fabric bundle. For the Book Lovers Bliss, I've taken a bit of tatting and a paper flower and one of my buttons from my complete bundle. So I've just stitched those together. I've made a little yo-yo or Suffolk pup with a piece of fabric, so that's easy. And just sewn that all together. I'm going to make this as a final embellishment on there. A little bit of lace. You want your needle and thread just to sew that on. I've got 3 little die cuts here, so different ones, just 3. Any 3 will do. Or fussy cuts if you don't have a die cut machine. And I've got bits of ribbon as well. That's just to decorate there and to put those in there. All right, so that's what I've got there. The other thing you want to grab hold of is something I saw Rach do on her tips, tricks and hacks video. I think it was a few days back already, a week or 2 ago maybe, and that's when she was taking her scraps and sticking them into a book to create this. So for example, and I've just grabbed it here, it's about grabbing some of your scraps like this, yeah, all sorts of bits and pieces. I like to make them into rectangles. It's just me. You don't have to, but I just do that. I'm not going to put you through this. I have done this already. And then it's just taking one of your old books. Now, you can take a book, you can take a magazine, you can take an old diary that you don't use anymore, that's notebook, whatever. I've just got an old novel here that I've read long ago, and I love it because the paper is amazing. But it's not great to use for journaling because there are some unacceptable words in here. So it's a perfect book to stick these scraps over to use for something like this. So I've just done that. I've stuck a whole pile on here, and that's what we're going to look at today. So I just wanted to show you. Now what Rach did, which is the bit I really love, Rach, was that she put them into like colors or, you know, things that matched, and she made her book full of them. So as she collected her scraps, she stuck them on the page, and so you can pull them out at any time for something that works for what you're working on. So if you haven't seen that video from Rachel's collection there, I'll put the link in the description box below this video and you can go and have a look. It was excellent. Anyway, so I wanted to do that because I wanted to emboss it, and that's the other bit that she did. Now I'm making a project that I did actually with my Floral Folly journal long ago, and I'm revisiting that for today because I don't have my Floral Folly journal anymore. Yeah, it's sad. So I'm sort of redoing this little project, which is perfect for a Sunday. So I've taken out one of the pages with these scraps that I've stuck down. I've stuck them down just with my glue stick. And what I want to do is I will be cutting out a piece of this in a bit to go onto the project. And then I'm going to run it through my embosser. Now, as Rach mentioned, and I've also mentioned this before, if you don't have an embosser, that's not the end of the world. You can always grab yourself a couple of these. So this one's just like script. You can still emboss. You can use a rolling pin and run it over. That works. You can also use, and I've said this in my videos a long time ago, if you've got an old pasta maker, when we back in the day when we were making fresh pasta with those little stainless steel machines and you ran the dough through, they work a treat to emboss. So go get it out the back of the cupboard and give it a go, or just use your I've got my grandmother's old rolling pin that my granddad carved out for her from a piece of wood, so I use that and I just run it over this with a little bit of you know, brute force, and it does the job. So you know, you don't have to have a machine to do that, but the effect that it has on the scraps is amazing. Now when I did it before, I didn't use it with all the scraps. I just took a scrappy piece, one piece of paper, and I embossed it. All right, so we'll come back to that in a minute. Let's start. Now, I'm going to put it into my journal. I'm using a tea stain page that looks like that. So it's in this signature here, and it's just the one before the middle, yeah? And I'm going to stick it over there. And why I'm showing you that is just so that you understand how I'm sizing up my paper. Now, obviously, you have US sizes A4, so I'm not going to give you any measurements. I'm going to give you the visual. You can see that I've torn this piece of paper out like that, and you're looking at like 1/8 of an inch there and 1/2 an inch there and there. Okay, I'm not going to stick anything underneath here, so I'm going to centralize that. Now all I did to get this here was I took this is the first punch I ever owned long ago. I don't even, oh, it's an EK punch, and I thought, because we're dealing with books, I'm going to grab it and I'm just going to punch that edge there. But please go and take any punch you have, or if you haven't got a punch, those old crafting scissors with the nice edges, or even pinking shears, or just tear the edge. You know, there are lots of things you can do. So I've just put a little bit of a decoration there before I actually use one of my lace digitals to stick that down. Okay, so we can alter what we do even when we make a project from long ago. Right, I will end up sticking this down. I'm going to do that at the end, but I just wanted you to have a look at the sort of gaps around my page. All right, so I'm going to take this out the way and I'm going to move it back over there on the windowsill. Okay, then I've taken this piece of paper, and you can see I'm going to move this one. Now I'm going to use this to put my large tag in at the back. I'll explain this bit over here, and you can see that there's about 1/8 of an inch on either side up to that bit there, that I'm going to move it down, and I'm moving it slightly lower so that I can use that as a pocket behind. All right, so that will be different widths, but again, this is whatever suits you. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do there. I'm going to stick this down. Now what I did here, instead of having a straight bit across the top, I decided to hand tear this. So I've sort of torn it at an angle here. I just tore it by hand like this. All right, so you've got a bit of a dip there, and you want to just put your distress, or I want to put my distress ink on there. Keep this because it'd make a great bit for an edge strip piece. You see, everything has its use, or with me it does. I don't throw anything away. Right, so I'm going to stick this down on these 3 sides here quickly. Right, I'm going to just take the glue on this occasion, and I'm going to just run it on the edges here so that this makes a little pocket for my large tag. Okay, so there we go. So that's going to do its job, and I'm quite happy with that. Right, let's get that down then. So we want that there like this, and a little bit over. There we go, that'll do. Right, so now we have grabbed the bone folder here. we've got our pocket at the back there. Okay, so use your bone folder to get that stuck down. Now what I want to do is I want to take a piece of this. So I have just decided that I want to make this another pocket. I'm not going to tear it like that, but I'm going to look, let's just see here. I've got about 1.5 inches from the middle here. I'm dropping this bit down, so about there. And I want to have a little bit of this peeking out on the side as a nice contrast. So I've got about a 1/4 of an inch on each side, and I'm going to just make a little mark there. And then I'm going to make a little mark over here, because I think that's where I sort of want it. Okay, so I'm going to cut that up quickly, line it up on the board. You can use your trimmer if you feel more comfortable with that. I'm going to just get it in line with those little dots, and I'm going to chop it straight in half. Now you can draw a line, or you can you know, and use your scissors, or I'm just going to use my crafting knife. I'm used to a crafting knife, and I like the cleanness of it. Right, so there we go. I've got that bit there, I think. I'll keep that for something else, and I'll end up sticking all those down tonight, I'm sure. Now, I never usually cut pieces on videos, but I just wanted to show you how to go about measuring it. That would make a lovely base for tags. So you can use those for, you know, all sorts of masterboards and things. Rach stamped on her. She did all sorts of things, and you can do that as well. I have got my little stamp here, so I might just do that. This is my seedless preserves and one of my little stamps that I showed you previously. And I think I'm going to just bring a little bit of colour at the top here and stick this over here. Why not? Okay. Yeah, so there we go. It looks a bit spare now, so I'm going to grab another little one quickly, and I'll be right back. All right, so I've just grabbed my brown potting soil archival ink, and this was the paper craft for you. The way to know life is to love many things, and I like that, definitely. And I just feel like I need a bit of script on here, so I'm going to just put this over here before. There we go. So I've just got that there as well. Right, okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and emboss this. Have I got it straight? Looks like it's a bit skew, but I'll sort that out once I've embossed it. So it's just a case of taking your embossing folder, and depending whether you're using your rolling pin, your pasta maker, or your machine, and you want to just go and put that in there. So let's move that a bit down, and then we can do that, and I'll see. Okay, so you can see I've just run it through there, and I love the texture that it gives it, and it just adds something to this, doesn't it? And who would say that those were ever scraps? Right, so I've just taken my circle punch. It doesn't matter which one, whichever one you have. I'm just going to make a bit of a thumb notch here, a little bit. All right. It even works with my tab punch, this. So just a little bit there, and then I'm going to end up, I was going to stitch this, but I can't now because I've stuck it down. If you are going to stitch it, stitch it to this piece before you stick it down on here. You know, foresight. I thought I was getting on top of that, but it's not the end of the world. Right, so I'm going to stick this down. I'm going to move it slightly over to that side because I'm going to have some bits over there. And so you want to just get that on the edge here. Okay, and then we can just get that on there like this. Okay. There we go. So we're getting it right. Now, this is the point where I'm going to just grab that page quickly. I'm not going to put anything on here because this is going to take up such a large area. That was a project we did last time. So I'm going to get that pretty central. You could make it lower and make that another pocket there if you wanted to. You could do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just centralize that like that, and I'm going to stick it down pretty much all over. Okay, so we've got that down, and now we're going to have a look over here. So I want to just stick down my die cuts before I go and put on the next layer. I think I'm just seeing quickly, so I want to get those stuck down over there, and I want to just take this little piece like that. That's going to be my pocket over there. So I'm just thinking if I want to get that over. Yeah, okay, so let's get this stuck down first then. So I've just sewn around it and backed it onto the cream lace paper, and I'm going to make this into a little pocket. So we want to just get some glue down the side there, on the base, and on the other side. So there we go. And then this can go just on the top here. Right, you can see I've moved it slightly over. Now you might need to get your clips out to stick this down, especially as it's got this embossed area. Let's hope that that's going to work. Right, I'm going to now stick these down. So I'm going to have one like that, this one, and then that one like that. And I'm going to do that quickly. Well, let me have a go at it. Right, I always think that I'm boring you by doing this, so I'll try and eliminate it. But yes, I will say, like yesterday, I tried my hardest to get focused on finishing my Christmas journal and my autumn journal. So I think this morning I realized I was too distracted with all that was going on because all my children kept arriving. Well, I only have two, but you know, and keeping me occupied as they do. And I'm not moaning because I'd rather have that. But yeah, so I haven't made any inroads into doing that, which is just terrible. But I'm going to, I've promised myself, and now I'm promising you. So if I promise you I have to do this, that I have one of those journals to share with you as a flip through on Tuesday. So I'm hoping that I get the time to focus and do that. So that's probably going to be Tuesday's video. Let's see if I can do that. I know we've long passed those things, but you know, autumn is going to happen in some parts of the world, in the southern hemisphere, you know, and Christmas will come around again too. So I'm so sorry with all the things that are going on. I'm hoping to be better prepared. And you know, like I heard somebody saying, I think it was one of you guys, about getting old projects finished. Ugh, it's my nemesis, that too. And I don't like it. It just messes with my head that I haven't done it. So I just want to get it done. Plus, I don't like having unfinished things. You know, it's not good for the brain. Definitely not. Right, so we've got those stuck down there, and I'm loving all the colours, and this is just adding such amazing texture. Right, I've got my little bit of lace before I stick on my other bits, and I'm going to just get that on over there. I think I'm going to move it up a bit. I'm going to move it up a bit. Yes, so we'll get our fabric out. The other thing you want to do is you want to grab hold of this, because this is next. These are lovely to make. Again, little bits of fabric, and I do love the fabric. And that's another thing I need to get done, is the cover. So yeah, I might get that done for Friday. So there's the week mapped out for me. Don't forget that we're coming to the end of the junk journal tips, tricks and hacks. It finishes on the 28th, I think. So if you haven't caught up with all those videos, go and have a look, because I tell you, it was just phenomenal. I've loved all of them. I really have. You know, you're never too old and you're never too experienced to learn new things. That's my feelings on that. And I have learned some lovely things and different ways of doing things, even if I do know how to do something, you know. But I'll be the first to say that I love learning things from others. If I don't learn something, it might inspire me. So I encourage you to go and have a look and see if you haven't already, and catch up on the ones that you haven't. So yeah, right, let's get this stuck down now. Hopefully it's straightish. Looks about right. Okay, so got that there. And then I'm just going to stick this down. Now let me just use my little glue pin. I need to wipe that now. This glue pin is from Audrey Harris on Etsy. If you haven't, I know someone's going to ask me. So she does lovely glue pins, and yeah, I have a collection. I do. So let's get this all down. Right, so I can just wipe that on there. How's that? Okay, and get this on this section here. Now I will get out my little clips. So let's just do that. I think I'm going to go big with these. Got the big ones out, the big guns. We'll just get that right there in the middle. There we go. I think let's turn it to the side. These are great. Okay, I think I'm just about there. Let's move that out the way. Let's grab the book back. Right, so there we go. Now all that remains to do is to put in our little ephemera. And I said to you I would explain. So I've got these two bits here. I think I made these a size smaller, just printing 2 sets per page. These ones are going to go into this little pocket here, so we're going to put that there. I've just sewn the ribbon on the back. This is me just taking 1.5 inches of card and 2 inches high, cutting it at an angle for a tag. I've just stamped that on the front and stuck the butterfly on the top, just to bring a pop of color there. And I quite like the craft color coming through, so it just sort of, the contrasts look great. Then this little bit I've just put in an eyelet and a little bit of ribbon, and that is going to go into this little pocket. And then the big tag over here I've put on Lose Yourself in a Good Book. Oh, and don't we? I am a big fan of that. And I hate it when the book ends. As I said, I'm still in the scenario, you know. It takes me a while to come out. Right, I talk rubbish, I know. Okay, so, and this one's going to go into that pocket over there. So look how lovely that's all come together and looks now. We've got all those bits there. And that's our little Sunday project. That's stuck down. Yep. I think I'm going to just... Am I going to put this behind? No, I'm going to leave it there. Right. And there we have it. How pretty is that? And such beautiful layers and textures. Okay, everyone, go and enjoy a lovely Sunday. A cup of tea and a biscuit is calling my name. I'm going to go and do that. I will see you on Tuesday. And as I say, I hope to have one of those journals finished so I can do the flip through. And Friday we will definitely tackle the cover for this journal. All right, I have held off on putting I'm working on a new kit, but I'm not going to do that for a couple of weeks. I'm still not happy with Royal Mail's delivery, and I know I will get people wanting printed kits. So just bear with me, as we will probably, when this is finished, I will do some other little mini things to keep you all busy and entertained. All right, so the one I'm working on is fabulous. I love it already, and I can't wait to share it with you. So go and enjoy your Sunday, and don't forget my sale is running on in my Etsy shop and in my website shop, but that will end at the end of February. All right, so probably, yeah, I think it is the end of February. Okay, guys, love and leave you. Thank you so much for your support. You're just an amazing crowd, and I love spending time with you. So until Tuesday, bye-bye.